Okay, folks, today's the day. We're going to fire Furious up, or at least try. I got my neighbors coming over. He's a retired mechanic, ran his own shop, all that kind of stuff. He knows engines really well. He's going to come over and help me with it. Make sure we got it all in time and everything. It's got good oil pressure. We did the oil pressure test the other day. Primed it the other day. Only thing I got to do before he gets there, I got to fix his carburetor bracket. And I'm just going to put something together until I determine which spacer this engine likes. It seemed to run better last year with no spacer, but only had one. So hey, it was that one or nothing. And when I took the big, giant, tall spacer off, the engine seemed to run better. Ran better down low. So, and that's where this car needs help at, down low. It's got plenty up top, but it takes it so long to get there. By the time it's there, it doesn't have enough track left to make any power. So got to work. That's why I got more gear in it this year too. So we get her down low a little better. I think it's going to help the overall ET of the car. I need to fix this vent. I keep calling that a vent tube. I even practiced on that. I need to fix this hose back here for the breather. It's sized wrong, and then we'll pour a little gas down the carburetor and see what happens if she pops. And if she does, we'll switch the fuel pump on. I don't want to flood it till I hear it pop. Hopefully it'll run. Hopefully it'll do more than pop. And if it seems to run okay, he'll be adjusting on the distributor to get it like it needs to smooth it out. And it is cold today. It's about 38 right now, and that thing doesn't have a choke. So I'd rather. The other day it was 60, and I was hoping to start it that day, but I had too many things go wrong, and wasn't able to get it started that day. So by the time he gets here, it should be about 45. Now that'll help a little bit. That's still a little cold, but anyway, for a first start. So there you have it. If we get it running, I'll do a video of it running. Don't have any water in it, so I got to put some water in it if we get it running, and I'll do a video. And if we don't get it running, if I'm not too terribly frustrated, I'll have you a video of that too. Well, Furious fans, we ran into a snag. As I knew something was going to go wrong, and it did. It went wrong in a big way. As you can see, we're still working on the engine here. I started the thing up, and it ran, and it didn't have any oil pressure. Zero oil pressure. After I had just primed it a few days ago, it had 70 pounds of pressure on this gauge here. Started up, zero oil pressure, lifters rattling like crazy, and with lifters rattling, obviously it was running bad. Shut it down, checked everything, checked the oil, checked everything. Nothing, couldn't find anything wrong. Started it back up again, thinking maybe it just takes a second more to get oil pressure, and then let it run, not long, maybe 10 seconds, still no oil pressure. So I think we probably got 20 seconds or less running time. So still nothing. We went on and did it a third time, let it run maybe 5 or 6 seconds, no oil pressure. So maybe 25 seconds it's run with no oil pressure. Shut it down. Put the mechanical gauge on the back of the block. Pulled the distributor out. Pulled the gear pump drive. We thought maybe it had sheared the drive, the gear drive here for the oil pump. I've got it wrapped up in this towel right here. It hadn't. Sorry about that. The drive is fine, as you can see. There's no problems. This is one of those high dollar hardened tip jobs. So it didn't shear the shaft. So then we said, well, we primed it again, and this time by priming it, we couldn't get any oil pressure. So we took had a K&N filter on it, right here. Took the K&N filter off, and primed it a second time, and no oil was coming out. Nothing. No oil was coming out. We left the filter off. Still wasn't getting any oil pressure, and we sit there running the drill, and all of a sudden, boom, it broke free. It spurted out oil. And it came out, and it had a lot of air mixed in with it also. So we kind of thought, well, maybe if we're lucky, we just got a defective oil filter. So I happen to have a Fram a Tough Guard Fram in stock. I used to run Frams. That's all I've ever run. And here recently, I've been hearing so many negative comments on the internet about Fram that I've switched all my vehicles over to other filters after 30 years of running Frams with no problems. Well, I did have one with a problem. So I've got these Frams in stock. So I put this Fram on it. It looks like a good filter. Primed it, and it primed immediately right up to 70. I put a little oil in the filter. It primed up to 70 really quick. When I backed off the drill and let it go back down to about 40 pounds and then hit the drill again, it continued to drop down to 0. It would not pick back up. Kind of like an on-off throttle kind of thing. When it got to 0, I hit the drill again, and it pumped right back to 70. Same thing, I blipped the trigger on the drill. I was doing it in reverse. I wasn't spinning the motor over though, but I was doing it in reverse. And it dropped back down to about 40, hit the trigger, and it wouldn't come back. Did that 3 times in a row. Finally, on the 4th time, you can bump the trigger on the drill as much as you want. It fluctuates, you know, zink, 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 back and forth, and goes to full 70 when you put the drill back on it. So we've come to a conclusion. What we've decided to do, we can't take that chance of it deciding when it wants to have oil pressure and when it don't. So I have decided to, I'm going to take the oil pump off. That is not a new pump. That's the same pump I had. I rebuilt it. I used one of these kits here that come with different O-rings. And I sized the O-ring to match the groove. Because, like I said, it depends on whether they get a stock pump or a middle-on pump. So I sized the O-rings to fit the grooves in the pump. And I put petroleum jelly on them. And I put petroleum jelly in between the rotors, all that stuff. Everything was fine until we went to start the thing up. When I was priming, it was getting good oil pressure. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy a new oil pump. I'm going to invest the money in a brand new spanking pump. When I get the pump on, once we get this behind us, I'll come back and look at this pump, see what's if there's nothing obvious when I pull the pump off. Maybe it's blown an O-ring out or something. I kind of think that may be what's happened. Maybe an O-ring didn't seat quite right. I can't imagine that being the case. I was careful, and like I said, I primed this thing twice on the stand and then once on the engine. But at this point, I don't think I hurt the engine. There's no shavings on the dipstick. I checked the oil that came out. There's no metal in the oil. It's gone back to 70 pounds of pressure again. I don't think I hurt the engine. I had it soaked up pretty good with Moly Lube. But yeah, I can't take that chance with this pump. So I'm gonna put a new pump on it, brand new pump, and we'll prime it, of course, and put the drive shaft back in, the oil pump drive shaft back in, and fire it up. It did fire up and run. It does run. Like I said, with all the lifters not pumped up, it didn't run good, but it ran. So got about 20-25 seconds of it. So that is where we are at. Furious is Christine's sister, buddy. Let me tell you, she just I had a long talk with her today too, but it didn't do no good. So I'm not sure. You know, that's it. All right, folks.